Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Edmund Ironside and we are still in Act 1, Scene 1. We're going to get to hear from Uskataulf today. Now, Uskataulf is one of the Danes that's been hanging out with Canutus as Canutus is doing his whole thing of I should be king and Edmund Ironside should not. And Uskataulf was also there when the Danish countrymen came in and said, oh, magically these Saxons who we used to keep as slaves are rebelling and killing us, and we have no idea why, so we need your help. And Canutus was like, yes, I'll help you. And once the countrymen have left, he turns to all of the Danes that are there with him and is like, so what do you think? Should we attack Edmund Ironside now? And Uskataulf is like, this could be a defining moment in terms of how you rule people. And Edricus is like, yeah, you got to rule the Danes with an iron fist. You got to rein them in and, keep tight control over them, because if they get even just the tiniest little bit of leniency or leeway, then, everything's going to go to chaos. And Uskataulf responds by saying, list how this flattering mate soothes up the king, and doth abuse his gracious sufferance. Base, viled, insinuating sycophant, degenerate bastard, falsely bred, foul mother-killing viper, traitor, slave, the scum of vices, all the ill that may be. Who would excite the king to tyranny against his countrymen, but only he? I am a Dane, renowned sovereign. You have experience of my loyalty and that my counsel is not mercenary. If I were wise enough to give advice, you should not prove a tyrant, but a king. A tyrant is abhorred of God and man, when as a king, loved and honored. Accountst thou, Edricus, the Saxons fools, or rather hardy, wise, and valorous? Their names discover what their natures are, more hard than stones, and yet not stones indeed. In fight, more than stones, detesting flight. In peace, as soft as wax, wise, provident. Witness the many combats they have fought Denmark, our country's loss by them and theirs, with many other witnesses of worth. How often they have driven us to our shifts and made us take the sea for our defense, when we in number have been 3-1. Oh, you deceive yourself, and eke the king in wishing him so much against himself. Recall the former perils we have passed, whose dear-bought times are freshly yet in mind. The tyranny your father Swanus used in tithing people, killing 9 of 10, what did ensue? Why, loss of many holds, bloodshed and war, rebellion, sword and fire, for they are Englishmen, easy to rule, with lenity, so they be used like men. Patient of right, impatient of wrong, brooking no tyranny in any sort, but hating and revenging it with death. Therefore, I counsel you, if it might stand, to win their hearts not by severity, but by your favor, love, and lenity. So in the first part of this, we get to hear what Uskataulf really thinks of Edricus, and they are not pleasant things. I had a high school teacher who thought that everybody should have to take a course in creative cursing so that it doesn't just come down to a simple swear word. This is creative cursing that happens at the beginning here, and lots of name calling. Uskataulf basically has no respect for Edricus. He thinks he's the dumbest person that there is, because he's like, why would you tell the king to be a tyrant? Like, what is to be gained if the king is a tyrant. Tyrants are hated and abhorred, whereas kings are loved and adored. He's like, Edricus, do you think that these people are stupid? Like, no, they're good fighters. They've made us have to fight really hard in order to win against them. So, like, even just in the past, when Swanus was in charge of everything like that, he was a tyrant. He charged people too much in taxes. He killed a lot of people. And what happened? We lost a lot of ground. A lot of people died. There was rebellion. There were fires. Everybody was fighting everywhere. He's like, the way that you rule English people, because they are smart, they don't deal with tyrants. They will not tolerate a tyrant. He's like, the way that you should deal with them is to give them leniency, like give them a world of peace where they feel like they have some control over their lives, and make them love you, not fear and despise and hate you. Because if you're a tyrant trying to rule these people, they're going to kill you. That's how that goes. So, of course, Canutus has to chime in next to sort of, put it at rest how he's going to handle all of this. And we will get to hear about that in the form of a monologue tomorrow. I'll see you then. Mwah.